everyone. APC and lies, they are like 5 and 6. I'm telling you, they are like 5 and 6. Imagine all the suffering that people have been going through. They are telling us that they are not paying subsidy, only for it to come out now that indeed they are paying subsidy. First of all, it was El-Rufai that after they had that their quarrel. So when you have gas, as if they too. Everybody got they talk, everybody matter. That's how when if you see your enemies they fight, you go just be happy because soon you will hear better gist. But anyway, it was El-Rufai first of all mentioned that fact that indeed that subsidy was being paid. Now we have Wale Edun, the so-called Minister of Finance, I think it is, has come out. The Minister of Finance, our coordinating minister, has come out to say that they are still paying, subsidy. This has always been the APC mode of operation. During Buhari, they did the same thing, where they said subsidy has been removed, fuel prices was increased, and at the end of the day, I remember Professor Osibajo, or Pastor Osibajo as he likes to call himself, insisting that there was no subsidy, was no longer being paid, and then all for them to come at the end of the day and tell us that indeed they were paying subsidy, but this time they renamed it and gave it a fancy name, which was under recovery. Now we have, after the monies, imagine how much is fuel, how much you're buying fuel, then they are still paying. So who are they paying subsidy to? And this is when Mr. Peter Obi kept saying that subsidy is subsidy of criminality. And I absolutely agree with that. Subsidy is one thing for me. I've always said that. I support subsidy removal, and that was part of the reason why I was never part of the Occupy Nigeria movement, because for me, removing subsidy was the greatest thing that Jonathan had done during his administration. But we say, hey, how that whole thing went, and at the end of the day, it wasn't good too. But here we have People's Gazette. Let me just read from the report that People's Gazette has on it. It says Wale Edun admits federal government pay more for subsidy despite increasing fuel prices. The removal of the fuel subsidy jerked prices from 190 naira per litre to 580 naira per litre, and often more depending on the naira's value in the foreign exchange market. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy of Tinubu's legitimate government, Wale Edun, has admitted that the federal government spent more money secretly subsidizing petrol for Nigerians in 2023, despite Bola Tinubu's announcement of scrapping subsidies at his inauguration last year. Then why? Of what use was it for you to come and start that you've removed subsidy when you've not removed subsidy, when you've not put things in place to mitigate the effect of it, when you are still even paying that as subsidy? The removal of the fuel subsidy, according to People's Gazette, jacked prices from 190 per litre to 590 per litre, often more. But I thought I just read, I don't know why newspapers, when they're doing, they just repeat themselves. Is it for them to have more words? I don't know. It's something that I wasn't like, but anyway, we are reading what they reported. Since we are not journalists, we don't get the news from them. So they say now the person where get soup now they know how to go do im own shakara. Mr. Edu considered the subsidy payment in a draft report of the Accelerated Stabilization and Advancement Plan, ASAP, which was submitted to Mr. Tinubu on Tuesday. He projected that the fuel subsidy will reach 5.4 trillion by the end of 2024, which contrasts sharply with the 3.6 trillion budgeted for it in 2023 and 2022's 2 trillion naira. At current rates, expenditure on fuel subsidy is projected to reach 5.4 trillion by the end of 2024. This compares unfavorably. They're just repeating what they had just said earlier. The report came on the back of repeated denials by Mele Kyari, Group CEO of Nigeria's energy regulator, NNPC, that there were no provisions whatsoever to accommodate fuel subsidy payment in the 2023 budget. I told you there's no subsidy whatsoever. We are recovering our full cost from the product that we import, Mr. Kyari said in August 2023 to squash rumors that the government was partially funding subsidy. We sell to the market. We understand why the marketers are unable to import. We hope they do this quickly, and these are some of the interventions the government is making. There's no subsidy, the NNPC boss had said at that time. However, Nigerians' effect of the subsidy payment remains unfelt, as they still pay between 600 and 680 naira per litre to buy fuel. This has caused a drastic decline rather, in the revenues of small businesses and multinational companies. Companies like Microsoft and UK pharmaceuticals giant GlaxoSmithKline have already shut down their businesses in Nigeria due to the harsh economic environment. Inflation at 40% was at never before seen peak, causing some of Tinubu's supporters to openly rebuke him and question the achievement of his policies since assuming office over a year ago. On Monday, the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress declared a nationwide strike over the removal of subsidy and consequently rising food prices, which were not met with an increase in the minimum wage. The strike was relaxed for 5 days after the federal government lobbied the organized labor and assured them Mr. Tinubu was committed to increasing the minimum wage to above 60,000 naira. Well, the labor union, they are there on their own, but you did see what is going on right now, where subsidy is still being paid. Your money, our commonwealth, is being wasted on this subsidy, and you're wondering who really are the beneficiaries of subsidy. Meanwhile, we've been told subsidy has been removed. People have been buying our fuel at very expensive rate, and yet their monies is being used for all of these people to continue to have monies that they will loot, monies that they will mismanage, monies that they will misgovern, monies that they will use to pay that, a very extremely high cost of governance that we see in our country. So here it is, here we have it. Just know that subsidy is being paid. I mean, oh Lord have mercy. When we've reached a place in our country where people don't trust government, because government is always lying. Government is always like gaslighting its people. Nigerian government is always lying. Nigerian government is always gaslighting its people. Nigerian government, if they tell you good morning, please check your time, because it probably might be in the midnight, or it might be evening while they are telling you that good morning. How then can the nation develop? How then can we have good governance, accountability and transparency when we continue to have those that lie? Especially, well, what am I even talking about? The Tinubu no rig his way into office. Lie myself na small thing. Anyway, no be for my mouth to go here say Tinubu rig election. Bye bye.